JonTron.
Daikatana. What can be said about Daikatana? Quite a bit, actually. Now, even though Daikatana was not linked to one of my personal gaming experiences, I guess you can say it was like a friend of a friend to me. I'd heard about it, seeing it in pictures and magazines, and even being threatened by John Romero to, suck it down. But our paths never really crossed. But I mean, hey, it's even the big brother to one of the most prolific and best video game franchises to ever exist. Now, I'm assuming that many of you out there know what Daikatana is and where its roots formed, but I'm sure there's an equal portion of you that don't know it from squash bean salad. So for you in the latter half, this next part is to get you up to speed. That's squash bean salad, and that's Daikatana. I know, I'm so funny! So now, a brief history on the tragic tale of Daikatana.
Enter the 1990s, an era when computer technology in the mainstream was just starting to take off. People were starting to see its influences in places never thought feasible. Personal computers were becoming more of a household standard, and were also becoming more visually oriented.
You see, I was born in the few years preceding the immense popularity of personal computers and the internet, so when I was a kid, we didn't use what we now know as Microsoft Windows. We used something called MS-DOS. Now, it didn't look much like this. Yeah, it looked more like this. Captivating, isn't it? It wasn't until 1995, when the groundbreaking Windows 95 hit stores, that most people made the switch. At least from my knowledge.
It is true that versions of Windows did exist during this time period, like Windows 3.0 and Windows 3.1. But these were nothing like what we think of as Windows today, and weren't as popular between people that I knew. Look at that. Windows 1.0. More like Windows claustrophobia. The reason I tell you all this is because I'd like to share with you one of the first gaming experiences I had as a child. Doom. Doom 2 more specifically, but Doom nonetheless. This game introduced me to gaming in a way that Mario never could. Not to mention, it revolutionized the gaming industry and popularized first-person shooter as a genre. I know Wolfenstein 3D technically holds this claim to fame, but I feel that Doom was the game that made a bigger impact, even going so far as to be rated the best game of all time by GameSpy in 2001. It was simply epic. It scared me as a child. I remember always thinking that the mancubuses were following me whenever I was going to the shower. Don't ask. Maybe I should have been playing Doom at such a young age, who knows. It was pure action gaming at its best, and it had nothing to hide. But I digress. This game was the brainchild of John Romero and John Carmack. No relation. Romero being the lead designer and Carmack being the lead programmer. After the success of Doom, their public profile skyrocketed, and they became industry legends, going on to create even more groundbreaking software such as Quake, which popularized the online deathmatch, an industry standard today. Doom was so popular, even Bill Gates got on the bandwagon to promote Windows 95.
Those two took the world by storm, so I guess we can expect that every game they'll make will just sweep us off our feet. Oh wait.
Fast forward to 1997. John Romero leaves id Software to co-found another company called Ion Storm. A shooter named Daikatana is announced for the PC. Perhaps more well known for its controversial ad more than the game itself, but let me tell you, a storm was a brewing. The game was delayed, and even completely ported from the Quake engine to the newer and more technologically advanced Quake 2 engine. This was not as simple as they had anticipated, and led to them scrapping the entire 11 months of work that they had completed up to that point. The development process was so rough that at E3 1999, the demo they brought in could only run at 12 frames per second. After missed deadlines, eroding company morale, and employees leaving the company during development, Ion Storm finally introduced Daikatana on May 23, 2000, to critically scathing reviews.
Hurry up, or I will be forced to poop and eat.
This is Jacques. But I suppose he's right. We should get to the feature presentation. But let me just say, we may as well go as low as we possibly can. That's right. We're doing the N64 version. Oh yeah. This baby was originally a rental only at Blockbuster, but it eventually saw a true release. Let me warn you, this might not be pretty. But I've never played the game before, so we'll be experiencing this for the first time together. Let's go in with a positive attitude and judge it as fairly as we can, because hey, maybe it's an underrated masterpiece that was just judged harshly at the hands of an evolving industry.
All right, here we go. There's no turning back now. Ugh. All right. The textures suck, everything moves in strange robotic ways, and the music in the background literally just repeats the same few notes over and over again, but look at this! What's happening? Your guess is as good as mine. Eventually, this guy opens the door to the longest and most boring intro cutscene I have ever seen in my whole life.
I'm not exaggerating to make this funny. This is as bad as it gets.
I timed it. This opening cutscene lasts 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Over 11 minutes before you get to do anything in an action game. What if Doom started off this way? Yeah. This is torture. I mean, listen to this. Listen to this music. There's nothing else. Not even sound effects. From what I can understand, the story is as follows. It's the year 2455 AD, and there's some pandemic happening caused by some guy named Kage Mishima. By using the MacGuffin of the story, the Daikatana, a sword, this Mishima guy traveled back in time and stopped the disease from being cured in the first place, giving him the ability to take over the world somehow. So you play as Hiro Miyamoto, a stiff, personality-lacking protagonist with really bad textures, who has to travel through different time periods and save the world. Yeah, who cares? Let's start. So, you start off in this rainy place, and I guess it doesn't look that bad so far. It's your standard futuristic shooter affair, and I already noticed that things are very hard to hit and take annoying precision to kill. I had hit the fuse box? Okay, whatever. Man, why has everything got to be so tiny and hard to hit? A major part of the game that I never really noticed take effect is that it blends RPG and action elements. And every now and then, for no discernible reason at all, you'll get a level up or something. What? What was that? Every time you level up, the text only appears for like a fraction of a second. You never know what you got. Oh, and guess how many times it takes for the line, "Now go kick butt," to get annoying? Yeah. Once. So about a few minutes into the game, you reach a part where there's this sort of low-hanging door thing. And of course, your first gamer instinct is to duck under it. So you try every button, but you don't duck. Then you check the menu for the controls, but you don't find any control tutorial or anything. So, of course, your second gamer instinct is just to shoot it. But nothing happens. Punch it some. Give it some of that. Same deal, nothing. So then comes the lovely gaming sin of backtracking out of desperation. Now, may I remind you,
This is the first 3 minutes of the game!
things like this can never be a harbinger of good things to come. So, after consulting the internet, I found that you actually can crouch. Oh, look at that, isn't it cute?
You want to know how to do it? Are you sure you want to know how to do it? Because I don't think you want to know how you do it. I'll tell you. R and A, that's how you crouch. That's how you crouch. I wouldn't even be mad about this. If A, some tutorial popped up as you got to the door, you know, like in any decent game. B, the controls were listed somewhere in the game. Or C, all the buttons were used up. But no! The L button isn't even used in the whole game. Why? For what reason? Why couldn't crouch be L instead of R and A? Because of this fatal flaw, if it wasn't for the internet, I may have never gotten past the first 3 minutes of the game. It's like everyone at Ion Storm was on Ambien during the development of this game. But seeing the game as it is, maybe they were. Oh, I should mention though, Chemco is responsible for this particular port, not Ion Storm. If that excuses it any.
This game has some really terrible and tedious level design. Like, for example, this platform takes forever to come down, and it's really easy to fall off of it because of the slippery jumping controls, which are often a problem, as you'll see later on. But when you go on it, it goes up at like 1,000,000 miles an hour. Why couldn't it come down that fast? Oh, and what a surprise, I slipped off. You can see where this begins to become a problem. As long as we're talking about tedium, I may as well mention that every time you die, you go back to the beginning of the level. This becomes annoying quickly, as this is the kind of game where you die. The jumping and dying becomes a problem in parts like this. Like look, there's no invincibility period like there should be, so the lasers can just take out your health in one shot. And this is pretty far in the level. I have to go all the way back now? So eventually you come to this one part, and apparently this guy's being tortured. And all over the place in this game, there are these people who just stand there completely unalerted to your presence. These people are all over the game, and just serve to remove you from the game's atmosphere, if it exists at all. So you save this guy, and he tells you that to get him out, you need to find the access card behind the Mishima logo that you passed on your way in. So you retrace your steps in a gaming device that serves to make the game longer rather than better, and you don't find anything under the Mishima logo. You eventually realize that you were supposed to destroy the logo, because that makes a lot of sense. You get the keycard. You use the keycard to save the guy, and then you're treated to perhaps the best cutscene of all time. Just look at it. Remind you of anything? They didn't even try! Who are these characters? Anyways, this running chat goes on the whole entire cutscene for a few minutes, and then it's the next level.
I'm going to show you a good example of why this game fails on the most basic levels. Now what I'm going to show you is standard of the entire game, and I'm going to let you see it in its entirety so you can get a feeling.
So you start off the third level here. You open this panel, and you're just making your way through the level. So, oh, there's a bad guy, shoot him. So, you make your way to this panel, it tells you your password was rejected. You can't go through. So, this being the beginning of the level, you obviously backtrack and... Bad guy, shoot him! Oh wait, was he the guy that was supposed to give me the password? Now what do I do? So, you make your way back to the password panel and talk to it again, thinking it'll make the guy respawn, but it doesn't. What's this? Is he supposed to teleport with this? Eventually, by pure luck, you get this guy to respawn, and you get to watch him slowly shamble over to the door here, and... What?
I mean, I don't know. It's no crazier than the other things people say in this game.
In fact, some of the things these people say are pretty funny for the wrong reasons. I am working here. Oh yeah? Let's see some ID. Hey look, someone finally noticed that I don't belong here. Oh no, never mind. Too cold? Check the air conditioner? Why would I do that? I don't even work here. Everything is okay now. Was it not before? Computers today is... What?
Computers today is easy to use. Enough said. This isn't even a foreign game. It was made in America.
Yeah, that's golden, isn't it? You'd be surprised what I make in a month?
Would I? I don't know, is he being sincere? Is he being sarcastic? I can't tell.
Life's a drag?
You know what? I can empathize with this guy. He lives in Daikatana. No wonder he thinks life is a drag.
Yeah, every time this game starts to not seem so bad anymore, it does something to... What? I fell through the floor panel? Did anyone test this game? If I had to say some good things about this game, I guess I'd say that it has some pretty cool environments, like this Parthenon, or this ancient temple, or this place. I mean, I guess this place is pretty cool. Really, the only slightly redeeming factor of this game is its weapons. Just look at this. It reminds me of Turok if it were multiplied by 50 or something. Some of the weapons are pretty standard and useful, like this crossbow here. Others are downright weird, like what is this? A problem I noticed is that a lot of the weapons start to feel the same, even though they may look different. But that being said, there are some weapons that definitely stand out from the rest and are unique in the way that they're used. Look at this dongly weapon here. It's absolutely useless. Why does only one side shoot like that? It makes me uncomfortable. This one's my personal favorite, the granddaddy of them all, the shot cycler. This bad boy wreaks havoc on everything. Boom! Alright, I got a little off track there. So, you eventually get to the end of World 1 and find the Daikatana. No boss, you just get it. Wonderful.
Can't do much more of this. Really can't. Let me just give you the Cliff Notes version of the next few levels.
The second world is like this Parthenon, Greece type place. So, you go here and you fight a snake lady. Yeah. Cutting edge, right? Oh, and I'd like to ask a question. Who are these people that you're with? I don't even know, and I'm playing the game.
Well, let me tell you. Apparently in the PC version, these people played alongside you as like cooperative AI, and they were a big selling point when the game first came out. But they seemed to be a point of huge criticism, and apparently they were terrible. So, they took them out of the N64 version and left them in the cutscenes.
Next world. So, it's like this medieval kingdom, and you come to this king guy who kind of looks like an armored version of the Tick. And you know he's supposed to be the boss, so you try shooting him and nothing. I give up. Let's just use a cheat to finish this game once and for all. Okay, last world. Alcatraz. Now right off the bat you can tell this is pretty much the ugliest level that there is. Oh look, a Glock 2020! So you're just going around capping inmates who for some reason are always doing push-ups before you come around the corner. They always do this, I swear. Oh, not to mention, they bleed purple. I hate this game. Well, what is this guy doing? Oh dear.
He's like an alien! Oh my god!
This is the N64 at its absolute worst. That barely even resembles a human. So you fight some more useless enemies that barely even pose a threat to you. And you reach the final boss. Oh yeah, we're almost done.
That was it. You saw it. That was the whole thing. That was it. I didn't cut any of it out. It was like 20 seconds long. I mean, a game is supposed to get gradually harder as you go along, and a final boss is supposed to test your skills that you've learned up to that point. But what was that? There was no challenge. You just strafed around him and... You remember the last boss of Doom 2?
Yeah. Nothing like the last boss of Daikatana. Now it is true that there's one more boss fight after this, but it's the same thing. So, you beat the game, and you're treated to this cutscene with loads of people you don't know who they are or care about. And what? Who is that? And what's he doing? Really? Seriously? Whatever. Just watch this. What's going on? Oh look! Humor! Think it's over? Nah, you'd be giving this game too much credit. Here he is again. I just don't know. I just don't know what to say.
That was it. After that, I have nothing to say. That's it. That was Daikatana, the end. But I will say this. We shouldn't hate John Romero just because he made one flop. I mean, he made plenty of other good games like Doom, Doom 2, Quake, and we don't hate Bill Cosby because he made Leonard Part 6, and we don't hate George Lucas just because he produced Howard the Duck. No. We hate George Lucas for many, many other reasons. Thanks for watching JonTron Episode 1. Come back, there will be more Where This Came From.
Subscribe, or die. I like yum yums.